That's what we needed after a snowy day.
Yes, and Shabbat Shalom. I'm Jim Kaplan. I'm pleased to lead worship tonight as Shaliach Tzibur, an emissary of our congregation. I'm joined tonight by Leslie Zucker, our music director, by Warren Sickle, our wind section, by Howard Pittler, our rhythm section, and by Dr. Jim Applebaum, our string section, and by Susie Adams on piano. Thank you to the BOW committee for bringing us beyond our walls and managing our worship streaming online. If being a digital docent is something that would appeal to you, please phone the office for more information about volunteering. For those of you who are joining us from home, if you need technical help, please text your number to the Technical Assistance Line, TAL, at 913-303-1134, and someone will get back to you as soon as they can. If you're on Facebook Live, you're not seeing us now, so we know that. We pray almost all of our readings and sing our worship in song together, so please join in all aspects of our worship, and so that we can stay together, in addition to the visual aids on the screen, the prayer pages I call are the page numbers in blue in the square brackets. Respecting our atmosphere of worship, please silence your potentially noisy electronic devices. Thank you. To prepare for the Shabbat candle lighting, we'll begin reading together from the top of page 121. Page 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. The Shabbat candlelight blessings are on page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Oh, God has a sense of humor.
Yep. We continue worship reading together on page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. On page 130, we join in singing the first two lines of Psalm 95, which begin, "Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai."
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena Adonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, lekama fara betodah.
We greet Shabbat on page 138 with Lachado D, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, ekabelah. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat,
Zachor v'dibur echad hishmianu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litchala Lechado di likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabelah.
Shabbat, mekabelah.
Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'milcha, ki v'kol haberacha, merosh mikeren v'sucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshavas chila.
Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mekabelah. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mekabelah.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki vayorech kumi ori, 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 shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla.
Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mekabelah. Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mekabelah.
Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tola, toch emunei, am segula, boi chala, boi chala.
Lechado di likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, mekabelah.
Page 145 toward the bottom. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Page 146. In the middle of page 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 152.
that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Micha Mocha, page 158. Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkah, Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkah, Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש שבת שבת ויהי נפש שבת שבת ויהי נפש שבת שבת ויהי נפש. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei HaKol
V'zocher
Hasdei Avot V'imaot U'mevig Ula Livnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen
Baruch
Atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei Metim Atah Rav L'Hoshiach Ma'ashiv Haruach U'morid Hagashem Mechalkel Chayim B'chesed Mechayei Metim B'rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'rofei Cholim U'matir Asurim U'mekayem emunato l'shenei afar Micha mocha bal gevurot U'mido melech Melech memit u'mechayeh U'matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atal hachayot metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hametim Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kadoshim b'chol yom yihalucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Adonai Elohim Page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'eh lahodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Tasim Le'olam. Ki atah melech Adon b'chol hashalom. Shalom,
We continue reading silently to page 180, adding the prayers that are in our hearts. When you have completed your prayers, please be seated. We now turn our thoughts to those in need of healing and return. We begin with the Mishaberach prayer for those who recently suffered in Israel and Gaza, for those who are still in captivity, and for those whose whereabouts are unknown. A prayer for peace by Rabbi Karen Kadar. From Psalm 122, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Let there be peace in your homes, safety within your borders. For the sake of my people, my friends, I pray you find peace. For the sake of the house of the eternal our God, I will seek your good. Help us, O Holy One, and protect us in our hour of need. Touch our hearts lest they be hardened with despair. Guide our thoughts lest they are overcome with fear. Bring healing to the wounded, freedom to those held captive, and strength to those in mourning. Give courage to those in fear and wisdom to those who lead. Yedid Nefesh, beloved one, reveal yourself and fill the world with your light. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. We yearn for the day when the word of the prophet will be fulfilled. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and they will study war no more. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
We now turn our thoughts to those in need who are closer to home. We pray in support of those injured and those whose families and friends' lives were forever altered by the senseless bloodshed and gun violence this past week here in Kansas City. The Mishaberach prayer asks for healing. You'll find a list of some who need our prayers of healing, be it emotional, spiritual, or physical, in your handout. This list is also linked in the comments section if you are online. For those of us who are with us online, if you have additional names to add, please type them in the comments section now so we may include them in our prayers. For those of you here with us, We offer an opportunity to identify others who may need our prayers. The words to the Mishbarach are on page 371.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen.
We offer a prayer for those with addiction and mental health struggles. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring blessings of strength, compassion, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them with loving kindness, grace, and companionship, and bring them peace.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
It's now time for our Simcha moment. Please share a special Simcha, a joy from this past week, online by typing your Simcha in the comments section, be it a birthday, an anniversary, or other good news. If you're here in person, we invite you to come up to this Simcha mic, one person or one family at a time, tell us your name, and share your Simcha. I am asked to remind you to avoid touching the Simcha mic. It's very, very sensitive. And there's an X right there.
There's the X. Hi, Mike. I'm Carol, and I usually procrastinate, but this week I knew I had to prepare some goodies for tonight, and I actually baked them on Wednesday, so they were ready. And for Andrea, they are gluten-free and dairy-free. The other thing that I have to tell you is that I have watched Leslie lighting candles, and almost every time one of the candles looks like it's not going to catch, and she covers her eyes, and poof, there it is.
My name is Hadassah, and one of the game developer that I have loved since I was 3 years old, his name's Scott Coffin. I wrote him a letter 2 months ago, and he sent me a package, and the other Simcha that I have is I got a 10 out of 10 on my math test a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
I went to a skating party. Oh, I'm Florence, and I went to a skating party at school today, and I didn't use the trainer.
Okay.
I'm Elizabeth Applebaum, and I live at Brookdale Retirement Home, and they gave us a nice party last night, followed by a dance, which reminded me of when my husband was alive, and we'd go to dances for Phi Delta Epsilon, his medical fraternity. And he he always went up to the band leader and said, "I am Nate Applebaum's son." Nate Applebaum was president of the Musicians Union, and all the musicians knew him and loved him.
I'm Sheila, and on the 11th was my niece Melina's birthday, and on the 13th was my mom's birthday, and they both live in Minnesota, far away, but they're very close in my heart.
I am Andrea's wee woman, Florence's Nana, and I am so very thankful. My youngest son, who is Florence's dad, turned 29 years old, and it is a glorious day. And my, as I used to call him all the time, tall son turned 32 this week. But I'm also very thankful because I did not leave the house because of the snow, and I was doing taxes on time, which I've never done in my life. I tried to say early, but that's not really true, is it? That's called extension. So I'm trying to do them on time, and then suddenly, when I was avoiding doing them, I hit the Congregation Beth Torah page, and I hear this singing about how beautiful it is, and all that, and that lovely voice, Leslie, sang us such a beautiful song to get us to come tonight, and I would have never passed it up. And thank you, Jim, for being here and bringing us such a wonderful Shabbat for this beautiful, beautiful congregation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Alan Watts was a philosophical entertainer, as he called himself, and he was popular in the 1960s and 1970s. At the peak of his popularity, he had a syndicated radio show and several books in print. His insights into humanity were largely inspired by Zen Buddhist concepts, but it's actually striking how these concepts are common to other religious beliefs and how they ring true to many of our Jewish themes. Watts tells the story of the Chinese farmer, but this story could just be as easily about a villager from Minsk or a congregation from Kansas City. Once upon a time, there was a Chinese farmer who lost a horse. The horse just ran away. All the neighbors came around that evening and said, "That's too bad." And the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the horse came back and brought 7 wild horses with it, and all the neighbors came around and said, "Why, that's great, isn't it?" The farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, his son was attempting to tame one of these horses, and he was riding it. The horse bucked, and the son fell off, breaking his leg. All the neighbors came round in the evening and said, "Well, that's too bad, isn't it?" The farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the conscription officers came around looking for people for the army. They rejected his son because he had a broken leg, and all the neighbors came round that evening and said, "Isn't that wonderful?" And the farmer said, "Maybe." Watts observes, nature is an integrated process of immense complexity, and it's really impossible to tell whether anything that happens will be good or bad, because you never know what will be the consequences of a misfortune, and you never know what will be the consequences of good fortune. Thank you to those of you who shared your joys with us tonight. You've raised the happiness of all members of the CBT community. In honor of your events, we offer the following prayer. Divine source of blessing, we thank you for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with gratitude as we join the happiness of those who marked the varied simchas and blessings they have shared. Adonai, be with them now and always. May they be blessed with the strength to overcome sickness and sorrow, and with much health and happiness now and always. As we honor each of you for the gifts that you bring to our sacred community, we join together in song as we mark this sacred occasion.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו בזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו
hazeh. Thank you. Sometimes the tiny details in Torah hold a very grand message. This Shabbat we have begun a trio of parshiot that include information about building the Mishkan, including the ark that carried the tablets of the Aseret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments, and the other components of the sanctuary that was set up around the ark. Wherever the Israelites stopped on their journey in the desert, this is where it was. God tells Moses how to make the sanctuary, detail by detail. And in the instructions, the verbs are mostly in the second person singular. V'tzipita, ve'asita, ve'achachta, ve'natata, ve'heveta. You shall cover, you shall make, you shall pour, you shall place, you shall bring. These are all commands to a singular you, initially to Moses, and possibly later to Aaron as the Kohen Gadol. But when we are instructed about the ark, the verb becomes third person plural. Ve'asu aron atzeti shittim. They shall make an ark of acacia wood. It's just a couple of letters different, but why do we shift from singular to plural when we hear about the ark? We read in Kings, there was nothing in the ark except the 2 stone tablets that Moses had placed in there at Mount Sinai, where Adonai made a covenant with the Israelites after they came out from Egypt. These intact tablets and the fragments of the first tablets that Moses shattered after the golden calf incident, and the fragments held the details of our promise to God at Sinai. We will do and we will hear. The ark contained a physical symbol of our covenant and represents all that was later expanded in Torah. The command to construct the ark uses a plural verb because everyone was to share in its construction. As Rabbi Judah said, the Holy One, blessed be God, said, let them all come and occupy themselves with the ark in order that they may all merit from Torah. Unlike other parts of the sanctuary that were dedicated to the priestly tribe, Torah was the heritage of everyone. All Israelites were parties to the covenant, and all Israelites, past, present, and future, were to know and study Torah. There would be hierarchies in Judaism, priests, prophets, kings, and such, but when it came to knowledge, each member approached the Torah with equal opportunity. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs quotes the eloquent historian Norman Gottwald as follows: "The chosen people is the distinctive self-consciousness of a society of equals, demarcated from a stratified surrounding world. Covenant is the bonding of decentralized social groups into a larger society of equals. Israel thought it was different because it was different. It constituted an egalitarian social system in the midst of other stratified societies." Gottwald wants us to marvel that ancient Israel was the first attempt to create a society of equal dignity under the sovereignty of God. Since God created us all in God's image, we were all equal. All of the other ancient civilizations were stratified into hierarchies of authority, except Judaism. In our American Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote the famous words, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights." But oddly, in history, except for the Jews, this was not self-evident. Plato held that the natural order in humanity divided people into a hierarchy of gold, silver, and bronze, and this was the unavoidable structure of society. Aristotle believed that some were born to rule and some were born to be ruled. The self-evident truths cited by Thomas Jefferson were only obvious truths if you study Torah, and in retrospect, they probably weren't equitably applied in Jefferson's times either. But Rabbi Sachs notes that the egalitarian society that Torah attempts to create runs counter to the few unavoidable observations about the member of society. People actually do have variability in their talents and natural abilities and differences in their upbringing that may result in different capabilities. Judaism attempts to create an egalitarian society, but with stipulations and rules that make it more likely to work. Physical goods, wealth and power, for example, have always represented areas of inequality, and for this reason, society must create laws and rules. In these areas regarding physical goods, it occurs that the more I give away, the less I have. Unless there are laws, the haves will not help support the have-nots. On the other hand, spiritual goods, sometimes viewed as social or public goods, have a different logic. For example, the more love I give away, the more I have. The more trust I extend, the more I deserve. These goods depend on being shared, and they gain greater worth the more evenly they are distributed. So they result in cooperation rather than competition. Rabbi Sachs points out that no one individual, no matter how strong or gifted, can rival the achievements of a group in which each member contributes their talents to an orchestrated collective endeavor. And the genius of Judaism was to see that the primary social good is knowledge. The simplest and most effective way of creating a society of equal dignity is to make knowledge equally accessible to all. The symbol of this was the ark, the container of the most important of all bodies of knowledge, the essence of Torah. Knowledge is power, and if access to knowledge is distributed equally, so too is power. This is why Torah shifts from singular to plural when the discussion moves to the ark, our covenant and the basis of our society. In his book, A History of the Jews, author Paul Johnson calls Judaism an ancient and highly efficient social machine for the production of intellectuals. Now, this may be overly enthusiastic, but it's not the sole reason for our emphasis on Torah as a critical moral center. It's the recognition that we value spiritual goods highly, and certainly above physical goods. Rabbi Sachs points out that in a society structured around divine law, everyone has equal access to knowledge, and therefore everyone is granted equal dignity as citizens of a republic of faith. This is Judaism in a nutshell. This is why the commands to construct the ark for Torah were the responsibility of everyone, something in which they must all participate. The other components of the Mishkan were commanded as singular responsibilities to one individual, generally to Moses. We shared responsibility for all our society and our world then, and by reading and studying Parshat Terumah every year, Torah reminds us that we each share a responsibility for all society and for our world now. It was a catchphrase of CBT some years ago, "We are the community we need." This concept that we treasure our spiritual togetherness has not expired. In fact, it may be truer now than it ever was. Ken Yehi Ratzon. The rabbis of the 14th century added the Aleinu to the closing of each worship service to end the service on a hopeful note. No matter what our days are like now, our best days still lie ahead. The Aleinu is on page 586 and 591. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, v'teit yedua le'otzeh breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gorarenu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nechemah v'hayadonai
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We take a moment to read from the selections on pages 592 through 597 and to remember the loved ones that we have lost. This week, we remember those men, women, and children, Israeli and non-Israeli, who have lost their lives in the battles between Israel and her neighbors. We also mourn those whose lives ended prematurely as a byproduct of gun violence here in Kansas City and elsewhere throughout the country. We also recognize from our congregation a member laid to rest this past week, Patricia Ann Murphy, aunt of Elaine Tobias, and those whose families are in the Shloshim period, Sonia Shuklaper, mother and mother-in-law of Joseph and Tatiana Shuklaper, Ethan Niedermeyer, grandson of Carol and Floyd Frankel, Stanley Penner, MD, father and father-in-law of Jeff and Edie Penner, and grandfather of Skylar Penner, and Alan Bram, a Beth Torah member. And those whose yortzites occurred this week, Sylvia Backerman, Jean Ballett, Isidore Berger, Josephine Loeb Bloom, Meyer M.W., Mickey Brown, Ann Eisberg, Barney Friedson, Myron Garfinkel, Marvin Gray, Rose Hoffman, Lillian Karch, Annabelle Lenz, Marian Elizabeth Michel, Sadie Ozar, Dorothy Pozlowski, Rose Francis Romeo, Samuel Sater, Leo Schmidt, Lillian Schultz, Bernard Steinberg, Sally Turk-Trainen, and Helen Wolf. If you are here to say Kaddish for someone whose name I did not read, please let us know their names so we may include them in our prayers. Zichronam livracha, may their memory be a blessing. Kaddish Yatom is on page 598. We stand as a community to support those in mourning. If it's your custom to remain seated, please feel free to do so. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mavarach le'olam ome'el maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav,
Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. We'd like to thank everyone who contributed to the CBT community, Kevin Romano and Barb Mendelson for being ushers, the CBT bakers who made the food for the delicious oneg that we're about to share in.
I got to taste test today. You will not be disappointed.
It has been taste tested and approved. Our musicians, Susie, Warren, Howard, and Jim, thank you so much for making our music beautiful.
Our Shabbat celebrations continue tomorrow morning with Sichat Shabbat at 9 a.m. in the library, followed by Shabbat morning worship right back here at 10:30.
Sunday's Good Faith Network CBT team meeting is open to all. Come learn what we have already accomplished in Johnson County and how you can make a difference in the lives of so many of our Johnson County neighbors. There will be refreshments provided, and it's at 10 o'clock around, give or take a little, in the Mishulash in the triangle that way.
And next Friday is our new member Shabbat. Come help us welcome our new and returning Beth Torah family members, including our new executive director, Damien, and his husband, Patrick.
Followed by Havdalah at the Golden Scoop on Saturday. Come for Havdalah, stay for the ice cream. Damien and Patrick will join us once again as we honor JDAIM by taking our celebration to a local business that provides innovative and meaningful employment for individuals with developmental disabilities.
And they ask that if, when you tip, that you use cash because it is so meaningful for them to receive that from you, these folks that work there. So we encourage you to come out and have some ice cream and some Havdalah. And it's time for our winter blood drive, one of the few opportunities that you have where you are guaranteed to help save a life. So you can scan the code. The code is also out on the tables where you can sign up to give blood.
And there's so much more going on. We encourage you to participate in all of your CBT community activities. They are listed here. They are listed out in the Ulam. They are listed on your app. They are listed over and over again. And you can even have them read to you if you call the office and you're really nice. After our closing song, we invite everyone to join us in the Ulam for Kiddush and Motzi. Our closing song, Kehila Kadosha, was written by Dan Nichols. It recounts our people becoming a unified nation during the Exodus from Egypt and the creation of a blessed community, just like the blessed community that we create here. Please stand and join us.
You are a tent, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a tent, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila. Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, la 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 la. Whoa, la 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 la.
Each one of us must play a part.
Each one of us must heed the call.
Each one of us must see the truth.
Each one of us is a part of it all.
Each one of us must remember the pain.
Each one of us must find the joy.
Each one of us.
Each one of us.
Kehila,
Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha.
each one of us must start to hear.
Each one of us must sing the song.
Each one of us must do the work.
Each one of us must build the home.
Each one of us must build the home.
Each one of us must right the wrong.
Each one of us.
Each one of us.
Kehila, Kedosha, 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 Kehila.
One more time.
Kehila.
Kedosha, Tehillah, Kedosha. Shabbat Shalom.
Take care of each other out there.